Welcome back to our channel. We are so incredibly grateful to have such a thoughtful community of viewers who share this enduring passion. Let us dive straight into the heart of the latest unfolding drama in Port Charles. As I sit back and reflect on the current landscape of our beloved Port Charles, I am struck by the sheer magnitude of the shifts happening right before our eyes. We are currently standing on the precipice of a monumental turning point, one that promises to reshape the very foundation of the town. Rumors and storyline developments have strongly indicated that we are about to witness 4 unexpected and earth-shattering downfalls, potentially even deaths, as the dark crimes of Ross Cullum, Jen Sidwell, Brooklyn Quartermain, and Willow Kaine are finally confirmed and brought into the harsh light of day. As a newer voice in this blogging community, I cannot help but feel a profound sense of anticipation. We have watched these characters weave webs of deceit, manipulation, and violence for months, and the prospect of ultimate accountability is both thrilling and emotionally heavy. Let us first examine the terrifying reign of Ross Cullum and why his impending downfall, or perhaps his literal demise, feels so necessary at this juncture. Cullum has operated with a level of unchecked sadism that has cast a long, dark shadow over the canvas. His actions on Spoon Island, particularly the violent abduction of Liesl Obrecht and the severe psychological torment of Jocelyn Jacks, have been incredibly difficult to watch. As an older viewer who remembers the intricate, high-stakes espionage stories of the past, I see chilling parallels between Jocelyn's current mental breakdown and the historical trauma inflicted upon Anna Devane by the WSB. Cullum has crossed every conceivable moral boundary, using his authority to crush innocent lives. I believe that his exposure and subsequent removal from power is not just a plot necessity, but a moral imperative for the show. The confirmation of his crimes will bring a collective sigh of relief to those of us who have worried endlessly about Jocelyn's fragile state of mind. Closely tied to Cullum's reign of terror is the equally insidious presence of Jen Sidwell. Sidwell is a man who thrives in the shadows, leveraging secrets and pain to build his empire of influence. His audacious decision to blackmail Mayor Laura Collins was a move of supreme arrogance, and it is a move that I firmly believe will be his undoing. Watching Lucas Jones bravely navigate the dangers of Windermere to steal those blackmail photos and negatives from Sidwell's safe was a masterclass in tension. Sidwell has underestimated the fierce protective instincts of the families in Port Charles. When his crimes are finally laid bare and confirmed to the public, the collapse of his blackmail empire will be spectacular. I, for one, will not shed a single tear when Sidwell faces the ultimate consequences for the pain he has caused. What makes the impending destruction of Cullum and Sidwell so deeply satisfying is the united front that is bringing it about. We are witnessing the triumphant return of old Port Charles power, specifically the formidable alliance between Laura Collins and Sonny Corinthos. Seeing Laura and Sonny work together to regain control of the town is a magnificent nod to the rich history of General Hospital. Laura, with her steadfast dedication to legal justice and moral integrity, provides the perfect counterbalance to Sonny's lethal shadow world instincts. When Sonny burned those stolen negatives in the coffee warehouse, he was not just destroying evidence, he was declaring that Port Charles still belongs to its legacy protectors. I absolutely love this dynamic. It reassures longtime viewers that no matter how dark the WSB threat becomes, the foundational pillars of our town will always rise to defend it. However, while the takedown of external villains like Cullum and Sidwell brings a sense of triumphant justice, the confirmed crimes of our internal, domestic characters bring only heartbreak. This brings me to the tragic, agonizing unraveling of Brooklyn Quartermain. For weeks, we have watched Brooklyn suffocate under the crushing weight of her guilt regarding the hit-and-run accident that severely injured Jordan Ashford. Brooklyn has always been a character who makes messy, impulsive choices, but fleeing the scene of a life-threatening accident is a crime of an entirely different magnitude. As her secret inches closer to confirmation, I find myself oscillating between profound pity and deep frustration. I understand that Brooklyn is terrified of losing the closed adoption of baby Phoebe, and I know that Tracy Quartermain has ruthlessly pressured her to maintain her silence. But we must look at the collateral damage her silence has caused. An innocent man, Isaiah Gannon, was falsely accused of her crime, leading to a violent altercation where Curtis Ashford broke Isaiah's arm. This single lie has caused Trina to crumble under immense family pressure, turned Portia's baby shower into a battlefield, and fractured the community. When Brooklyn's crime is finally confirmed, the metaphorical death of her current life, her marriage to Chase, her standing in the family, her freedom will be devastating. I believe the writers are setting up a spectacular emotional collapse, and while it will be painful to watch, it is the only logical narrative consequence for her actions. Equally shocking, and perhaps even more disturbing, is the dark descent of Willow Kaine. If you had told me a few years ago that the sweet, pure-hearted former teacher would become one of the most dangerous elements in Port Charles, I would not have believed you. Yet, here we are, facing the very real possibility that Willow's horrific crimes will soon be confirmed. We know the terrible truth. Willow is the one who shot Drew Cain, and she has been systematically drugging him to simulate the symptoms of a severe stroke. Watching her pretend to care for Drew during his physical therapy, all while he desperately tries to blink an SOS signal to Liesl Obrecht, is chilling. It is a level of calculated cruelty that completely shatters her angelic facade. Willow's situation has become exponentially more volatile with the involvement of Jack Brennan. Brennan's realization that it was Willow, not Nina, who orchestrated the drugging has cornered Willow into a terrifying alliance. Furthermore, her reckless emotional entanglement with Harrison Chase, actively encouraged by Michael Corinthos' vindictive plotting, proves that she has entirely lost her moral compass. When Willow's crimes are finally brought to light, the fallout will be catastrophic. The confirmation of her actions will effectively mean the death of Willow as we knew her. I feel strongly that she must face severe accountability. The show cannot allow a character to commit such intimate medical violations against a family member without facing the absolute destruction of their reputation and freedom. As we prepare for the massive power vacuum that will inevitably follow the downfalls of Cullum, Sidwell, Brooklyn, and Willow, the writers are already planting the seeds for our next great conflict. Just as Laura and Sonny managed to regain control and stabilize the immediate threats, a new, ominous danger is arriving on the horizon. The sudden introduction of Hudson and Z into the narrative indicates that Port Charles will not be allowed to rest for long. As a viewer, I find this continuous cycle of tension to be exactly what keeps the show feeling alive and vibrant. We need new adversaries to test the strength of our legacy characters. Who exactly are Hudson and Z? At this moment, they are shrouded in mystery, but their arrival at such a volatile time cannot be a coincidence. With the WSB infrastructure in Port Charles severely damaged by the exposure of Cullum and Sidwell, it is highly likely that Hudson and Z represent a new faction, perhaps an even more ruthless organization looking to claim the territory. I suspect that their presence will immediately challenge the newly restored authority of Sonny and Laura. The brilliance of General Hospital lies in its ability to seamlessly transition from one era of conflict to the next. Just as we celebrate the victories of our heroes, we are reminded that the shadows of Port Charles are never truly empty. I am particularly intrigued to see how Hudson and Z will interact with the fractured remnants of the families left behind by these four major downfalls. Will they exploit the vulnerabilities of the Quartermain family once Brooklyn's disgrace is public? Will they find a way to utilize the dangerous medical precedent set by Willow's crimes? The possibilities are endless, and my mind is racing with theories. I believe that older viewers who appreciate long-term storytelling and intricate power struggles will find this upcoming transition incredibly satisfying. It honors the past by allowing Sonny and Laura to stand tall while boldly pushing the narrative forward into uncharted, dangerous territory. In conclusion, we are entering a period of profound consequence on General Hospital. The impending confirmation of the crimes committed by Ross Cullum, Jen Sidwell, Brooklyn Quartermain, and Willow Kaine will serve as a powerful reminder that the truth, no matter how deeply buried, always finds its way to the surface. The emotional fallout from these revelations will undoubtedly provide us with weeks of spectacular performances and heart-wrenching drama. I am so eager to see how Laura and Sonny navigate the arrival of Hudson and Z, and how our beloved town will weather this next great storm. Thank you so much for joining me in this discussion today. Please continue to watch closely, as I know I will be, because the drama in Port Charles is only just beginning to unfold.